You're listening to the PT Profit Podcast, episode number 410. Today, we're talking about passive income streams for health and wellness professionals in a way that will AI-proof and enhance your business. Are you ready? Let's get started. What's up, Coach? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the PT Profit Podcast. I'm your host, Beverley Simpson. If this is the first time you're hanging out with me today, welcome. I'm super pumped that you're here. Let's go ahead and just dive right in. AI is coming for your client customer check-ins. It's coming for your macro calculators, your macro programming, your meal plans, your progressive overload programming. AI is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's truly a matter of when. So if you thought that you were in the information age before, AI is taking the information age to a whole nother level. Now, most people hear that and they think one of two things. Either AI is coming for my job and I'm going to become obsolete, or they think, oh, it's not coming, it's not true. People, they put their head in the sand and they don't take action. Well, this reminds me of Netflix. Netflix tried to go to Blockbuster and asked to be bought for somewheres of, $50 million. And Blockbuster laughed and said, no, thank you. And then no one's heard of Blockbuster anymore, and Netflix is now worth somewhere of $250 billion. So do you want to be like Blockbuster or do you want to be like Netflix? So it's really not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and more specifically, how you as a health professional can use AI as a tool in order to amplify your expertise, improve your productivity, and generate more passive income. So hopefully you're just as excited as I am, because today we're diving into passive income streams that health and wellness professionals can use inside of your business to generate more revenue, to make more of an impact and help more people. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I know I started with AI, and that's not what this episode is entitled, but I think it's important that we address it, because typically when people hear things like passive income streams, they automatically want to go to selling their workout templates. They automatically want to go to meal plan. They automatically want to go to creating digital courses, and they want to go to creating these encyclopedia type products, which is great. I'm going to show you by the end of this episode how to strategically create those things so that you AI proof and AI enhance your products and services so that you can generate more passive income. But it's important when you start thinking about this, whether you are trying to optimize and really get more of your products and service out there, or you're starting from scratch. Regardless of where you're starting, these are all components as people become innovative, as things enhance. These are all components that we have to be aware of, especially as people continue to be innovative and especially as this industry begins to grow. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. First, I want to just unpack specifically what I mean when I'm talking about passive income, because passive is not the same as active, and people have different interpretations of what passive actually means. Because I'll tell you right now that there isn't a single business out there that doesn't require effort. So this isn't like put a buy button on your website and then turn your computer into an ATM. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how to create a business that is going to maximize leverage in resources, time, energy, effort, and money. So that if I just give you 1,000 customers, can your business handle it today? So when I'm talking about passive income, I'm talking about something that can be purchased without any interaction with you. So you could literally go to sleep at night and then wake up and someone could purchase. Is there something in your store, whether it's online, in person, that someone can purchase from you without having to have a conversation with you? Doesn't mean that you didn't do work, because all that work essentially is front loaded. So when I mean front loaded, you have a sales page, you've already created the asset or created the concept of the asset. You've already done the work and the steps for someone to purchase it. So the work's already done, and now you're just sharing it and getting it out in front of more people. Other ways when I talk about active income is when you cannot get paid unless you are present. And so we see this a lot in the health and wellness industry, where you don't get paid unless you are doing the service. So you're trading time you're trading dollars for hours. And then what happens is when people try to translate their experience online, then they end up building another job for themselves instead of creating the time freedom that they were hoping that they were trying to do. So for example, DMing 100 strangers a day, or you start selling sessions. So those are what I would call active income. Passive income is when the work and the effort is already front loaded. So you build it. It's like building a house. You build the frame and then you share it with more people. And the beauty of this is you don't need 100 million followers. You need a system and a strategy that works. In fact, it's funny because one of my clients, when we were working on this recently, she's built this beautiful system where she has a front end offer, 14-day challenge, and then invites them into a premium experience and then invites them to become a client. And it took time, and not even really time. It took reps. It took effort. It took actual focused, efficient effort to build this machine. And now we're in this place where she's asking herself, well, what do I do with myself? What do I do? I built it. Yeah, you built it. Now we need to share it. Now we need to get as many people to come through the machine and the system as possible. And that moment can be a little like launch free fall, sometimes people will call it, where you've done the work. Now you just need to share the work and get the work out in front of as many people as possible. And that can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm doing nothing. And that can feel very like floating into the void. But once you get this and your work starts paying for itself, you're going to be golden. Now, with that said, let's go through some of the top ways that you can generate some passive income, some revenue that's leveraged. That if I were just to hand you 1,000 clients, you would be able to handle it, or 1,000 customers, you would be able to handle it without reaching your capacity threshold. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the passive income streams that you as a health professional can implement into your business, whether you are working in person and you want to add a hybrid component and add an online component, or you want to transition directly into the online space. Now, what's curious and interesting to me is typically what I see when people first come to me and they first want to build this online component is usually one of two things. Either they try to take their in-person strategy that has worked for them and move it online. So that usually looks like one-on-one sessions in a Zoom call, and they want to move the experience online. But what's interesting is that the coach or the trainer oftentimes has not yet seen how that adds more value. And so their clients end up reflecting those beliefs back to them in ways like, oh, it's not as valuable because I'm not seeing you in person. Or the coach themselves starts to feel like it's not valuable, and their clients are agreeing with them and showing them as a reflection, yes, you don't think that this is valuable, and I'm communicating that back to you. But what coaches don't realize is that people actually, when they're thinking about value, is that they're paying for convenience. And coaches have not yet seen how it's more convenient for them to train from home, because now they don't have to get up. They don't have to work in a gym. They don't have to drive to a gym or find the time. They can actually maximize and leverage their time in a more convenient way, and people pay for convenience. But then people think, oh, but Beverly, they need to also now buy some equipment. And I'm thinking in my mind, well, sure. When you were a personal trainer in the gym, they also had to pay for membership. So it's the same thing, but people cannot translate or communicate, and therefore communicate the difference for the experience of working from home, working out from home, or getting the transformation from home. So that's number one. Then what happens is people think, okay, I'm going to turn my one-on-one into this big group program, and then that's great. However, they do not build their offers and their programs and services in a way that maximizes leverage. In fact, they accidentally build new jobs, meaning they end up working in the red. And when I say working in the red, meaning that they just they over bloat their offers in a way that if I were to give you 1,000 clients right now, you wouldn't be able to handle it without adding more team members and adding more expenses. So now your profit margins ends up being negative or in the red because your business isn't built to handle the influx. So that's one of the biggest mistakes that people get into when they're creating their products and services is they accidentally work in the red and they accidentally build a business that cannot scale. And you do this without realizing it. And then you think, oh, I just need more customers. I just need more clients. When in fact, we need to restructure your business completely so that you can actually scale it. When I say scale it, I mean grow it to whatever revenue number that you want to grow it at so that you have healthy profit margins. This is going to require you to do two things. Really own the value that you bring to the market space. So you need to know that what you bring is worth it, that your work and service is of high value and deserves to be paid. Not because of you as a person, but what you bring to the market space and that you actually help people and solve a real problem. This will also require you to look at your relationship to selling. Selling has to feel good for you. So this is why passive income stream number one, I'll say, I like to call this the pressure-free sales system. This is what we do, and this is what we teach, is that I like to have $1 million offer stacks. So we start with the premium offer. So this is that transformation offer that is going to really solve for like a $10,000 problem. So if someone needs to end up, like think about their medical bills and all the things that are going to potentially happen if they don't solve this problem. This is something that they really want. So we have that premium offer. This is going to use the least amount of leverage, okay, in terms of things that you have available to you. Meaning it's usually going to be the most of your time. And then you can leverage curriculum, you can leverage group components, but this is going to be as close as you possibly can in terms of the transformation component. Now, let's talk about the AI, because I brought AI into this world and I said, oh my gosh, it's coming for all of the things that you usually think about when you're thinking about putting together your digital program. So how can you use AI as an enhancement as opposed to fearing its replacement? So this is what I'll say, and this is what we do and how we use it. So number one, AI will never, and I mean absolutely never, replace human connection. Think about it like this. When was the last time that you were so excited about talking to your bank or your doctor's automated telemonter? Like, press 1 for more options. Nobody ever. We just want that human connection, okay? So that's never going to get replaced. And think about it. I remember a time where Google first came on the map and everyone freaked out about Google. And now Google has become part, not only has Google created oodles of jobs that people really want to work for. And sure, it did make some other information components like encyclopedia door-to-door selling obsolete. But it did not eradicate people's jobs. Okay? Because in theory, I can say the same thing about a health professional's job. Because in theory, remember, people still joke about it. People say, oh, they got their medical advice from WebMD. So the same concept is present here. This is a pattern that we are repeating. But instead of trying to pretend it's not coming, we need to enhance it and use it. So what we like to do is use it as a productivity tool. I use it. It's never going to replace the skill and your IP and in your context. So when I mean IP is it's a tool, just like a hammer is a tool. It can be used to build a house and destroy a house. So AI is only as good as the skill of the user. So for me, when I'm using it, and when I help my clients use it, it's interesting. Because my clients will say, this is what the AI tool said. And when I review it, I can fix it. within 10 seconds. And when I say fix it, there are certain things, no matter how many times I prompt it, AI can't do. So for example, AI doesn't do well right off the gate, the discredit. So it'll make a claim, but it won't back it up. And it won't instruct you to back it up. And it won't show you how to insert your proof of concept. It won't do that. AI also has a very specific cadence. So anyone who just blindly copies and pastes it, we're already starting to get numb to that noise. And if you go back to breakthrough advertising and you think about the levels of market saturation, all that means is that we need to look at the market sophistication, meaning we need to spend time really focusing on increasing our sophistication. Why? Because what happens is people think that they already know what to do, but yet they're still in a problem and they can't fix it. So use AI as a tool and an enhancement, and especially to help you with productivities. And then what is the AI difference is your skill. It is your implementation. So if we were in the information, if we have moved past the information age 5 years ago, this is a whole new level of it. It's going to require an implementation component, which you can still do passively. And I want to just put a pin in this because I want to come back to, I'm going to show you where this goes as I'm fleshing out this pressure-free sales system. So number one is creating this system of a machine that is going to easily move people through your $1 million stack. So what this looks like is you'll have your premium offer and then you're going to have your front end offer. Your front end offer is usually a lower ticket. So when I say low ticket, I'm saying anything that is sub $100. So $9 to typically $27 is like a really good sweet spot. And then some people have $47 and $97 offers depending on what it is that you're using. But like your front end offer is something where your sales page can do the work for you, that can communicate the value of this offer, that it's so irresistible they'd be foolish not to have it. And then you have a couple of other, we want fries with that, additions to that. So then what ends up happening is that you use this offer to get your client a result in advance that's either going to deepen the sense of trust in your process and say, heck yes, I want to be a client, or it's going to give them that first win and then they're going to want the next win, which is required to be a client that's going to need a little bit more assistance. And it's going to help deepen this sense of, oh yeah, I want to work with you. Okay. So then you just put it out to as many people as possible. You build your email list of customers, and then you invite your customers to a sales experience, and then you invite them to become a client, and then it gets to just take what it takes until it takes. No pressure is required because your people they invest in themselves, they show up, they do the work, they get results, and then it becomes easy breezy, right? So now when you have this system in place, we can start thinking about, well, what are the components that are passive? And so what are some of the things that we can do? So the first thing, so now that you've got your premium offer, and then fix that premium offer so there's more leverage components, by the way, just side note, okay? Then we can start doing some passive income digital products, but they're digital products which could be in that front end offer spot, A digital product is something that they purchase one time, you create it once, they purchase it, they get results in advance. Now, what are some of the things that you can do so it's not just information, that it actually has an implementation component? Well, here's where AI can really help you. You could build a custom GPT, which is free. I think you could do one for free, or you just do the ChatGPT Plus, which is $20 a month right now at the time of this recording. And you could create a custom GPT. And guess what is so cool about the custom GPT is that it will help serve as an implementation component, and meaning they can feel like they've got a coach in their back pocket that will also, if you program it correctly, it could also help you facilitate purchases of your lower ticket offers, or invite them to book a call, or invite them to the sales mechanism. So a lot of the AI tool can enhance the experience and help add to the productivity components and help you get in front of more people and how because it's doing some of the work for you, or really just amplifying the work that you've already done. So what are some of the digital products that you could think of? I want you to think about ebooks, right? So this could be like leaders, leaders are readers. So put your process into an actual book, an ebook, and you could sell that with some couple of like audio enhancements. Another thing that you could do, especially as a fitness professional, is that you could have, instead of like you could have like a 7-day jumpstart that has a AI component. You could have a restaurant guide. Think about any type of tool. Think about a tool that you could use that your clients want. Your clients are like, oh yeah, I need that. Like a restaurant eating out tool guide, or a beginner's guide to navigating the gym for the first time, or how to build your at-home gym. And then, oh my gosh, I just have so many ideas coming through. Well, ideas are not my problem, but once you create this guide, you could literally have affiliate links, which we'll get to in a second, so that your guide starts to generate, you start to increase your customer value because there's affiliate links in there. So now here's another example of like, oh, it can be scary because AI can create my meal plan. Sure, but they don't have context, and AI doesn't know nuance, and AI doesn't know your proprietary work. So what if you used AI to help you so that you could save time? Then you could use, you could create it, and then you could go to Canva AI and be like, hey, Canva AI, make this pretty for me. And then you have now elevated and added value to your macro calculator or your workout program. Why? Because it has an element of polish. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a hotel, right? So the hotel, a Motel 8 and a Ritz-Carlton serves the same purpose and function of home, away from home, with the bed and a shower. But the experience of the two hotels is different. And now by you using AI to enhance the polish, there's a level of elegance and elevation that comes. So this is an example of using AI to assist you. Especially if you're anything like me, because I'm not a designer and I don't have an eye for that. And so yet the brand recognition and experience is now raised, and therefore added value. Now, here's the truth of the matter. When you set up this passive income stream, or this passive program that we're talking about, people get into their head, oh, I can't make a lot of money. I don't have a big audience. I don't blah, 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 blah. But here's the truth of the matter. If you make $1,000 from a $27 offer, that literally is just 37 buys. So that's 2 buys a month. You can take $1,000 and turn it into $13,000. I do it all the time. And I don't have a massive following. I mean, a massive following compared to what? All you need to do is get really focused on selling 2 $27 products a day. That's it. And that could generate you upwards of $10,000 to $40,000 per month, depending. Okay, passive income stream number 2, online courses. Okay, now this is what we need to be careful here with online courses. It's very similar to what I was saying in terms of digital products, right? So, what's the difference? Well, an online course can sometimes think of digital products as like a tool, right? So this is a tool, or sometimes it's a book. Online course is usually going to be something like a online course or online workshop. This is usually going to be a educational component where you're going to teach them how to do something. Now, we want to be careful here that it doesn't sound like an educational, like here is a encyclopedia. This is where you could use the AI tools to enhance the experience of the online course. You can take other tools that will help with the implementation of the online course so that people actually do the work in order to get the result. So think of the online course not as just an information blast, This is more of an implementation tool to help them understand the why behind the do and then get them to do. That they could do on their own, that they don't necessarily need you to do it for them. So this is how I help my clients think through what needs to go where, is that if you were to think about, if you were to take the outcome, the desired outcome that they already want to solve the problem that they already know that they're in, if you were to do this for them, what would you do? Like, just literally, like, what would you do? So usually it's stuff like, okay, well, I would fly to their house. I would wake them up in the morning and I would make sure that they get up, they do their meditation. I would cook for them. I would go grocery shopping for them. I would work out with them, whatever it is, like as if you were to do it for them, and then take those components and start to package them so that you can start adding convenience. You can start increasing, you can start saving them time. Why? Because if they were to go to YouTube University and figuring this out themselves, it would cost them money and it would cost time. So when you start organizing it for them, it already adds value. So that's where I think done for you, done with you, and do it yourself, and then measured against the do it yourself version if you were to acquire the skill. Because people think, oh, nobody wants my recipes, it's free. Yeah, but think about how much time they have to go to, like, oh, I saved this recipe on Instagram. I went to Pinterest, I saved it. No. You're going to organize it for them. This adds convenience. This saves time. This increases implementation. And then your job is to communicate that so that they see it. This is how you turn someone who's never heard of you before into a customer, because you make an airtight argument that removes doubt and moves them towards desire. Okay, number 3. This is going to, in terms of passive income. Let's go to affiliate marketing. Now, literally for every single one of these episodes, I could probably do its own episode. But we want to be thinking affiliate marketing is where you sell someone else's product and services. And there's lots of different ways that you can do this. Now, I already mentioned one way, which is if you've got an ebook, if you've got your tools that you are making recommendations for the stuff that you already use. This is like Amazon links. These are links that you can use to share products and services to your audience. And you get a affiliate commission or sometimes a referral fee. And if you don't do this for your products and services, I would highly implement this. Like, I would highly recommend implementing this, because if people buy your stuff, they love it. They want to share it with their friends. So you could have a $500 referral fee. You could have a affiliate link where, hey, you could get some commission if they love your stuff. We use these and implement these all over the place. Now, some people have made an entire business just on affiliate marketing. I'm not a huge fan of that, because I want my products and services to be out, but I use it to I use affiliate marketing to increase my lifetime customer value. Okay, now along the same lines as affiliate marketing, we've got number 4. We have YouTube ad revenue. So literally, if you have a blog or you're creating videos, you could make your content generate money through YouTube ads, the work you're already doing with YouTube ads and with even TikTok Shop, but that I would probably put TikTok Shop in affiliate marketing. But you could generate revenue from ads, whether it's on your blog or whether it's on YouTube. So that's still a viable option. And I want to help you think outside of the box, because everyone wants to think one-on-one group coaching. No, let's think bigger. There are so many different ways that you could generate revenue. Then other ways that you can generate revenue. So now along the lines of YouTube ads and blogging, if you want to go down that route, you could also create a subscription model. Now, a subscription model is different than a membership. And we're going to talk about this, because remember, we're trying to create and think through passive income streams. So what that means is that you upfront the work and then you sell it, right? So as you start to go into things like group coaching or maybe even memberships, you start to use less leverage, which makes it almost less passive, but still passive. Okay. So, and ways to make it passive. So again, we're not trying to set it and forget it. That's not the intention of this. looking for the ways that we can maximize our leverage, the time, energy, effort that we're already putting into our work. So memberships, for example, or subscriptions are for things like, newsletters. Like, I know it sounds weird, but there used to be a time where we used to generate, we used to pay for newspapers, and newspapers would come and, every Sunday or every morning drop it off. And, we would see commercials of dogs coming in to like grab the newspaper and bring the newspaper to the owner and so forth. Now, internet kind of made that obsolete, but people still pay for subscriptions, but now it's on their phone or in their computer. Or you could create like a digital newsletter that you mail them, right? So people think all the time, oh, this is going out of fashion. The truth of the matter is that things pattern, things come back all the time. I mean, I'm a 90s baby and I'm seeing the 90s come back. Okay, so it's when people zig, look for the zag. So subscriptions right now, people are using Substack. You could use like, for me, I'm turning my conversion club into a subscription, which means that I'm not going to have any type of training or additional coaching from me, but I'm going to have a monthly tool that is going to share with them their set of conversion templates. So that is a subscription that I plan to implement, as opposed to the next sort of passive income, which is what we'll call it 6. I'm losing track of how many I had, but we'll call that a membership. Now, a membership is where it's going to require probably a little bit more implementation from you. But this is where you are creating community. This is where people come for content, but they stay for community. And I think about this as pathway content, bonus content that's so good that they're like literally could just pay, like they're coming for the bonus. And then you're going to have your monthly reasons for staying in the container. Okay. That's what we're looking at when we are looking at that, like a membership model, which is why it's a little bit different than a subscription model. And of course, if you have questions, just reach out to me at Simpson Fitness on Instagram. I'm there in my DMs. It's me, and I'd be happy to share with you some things about it. Then you also have and then another way that you can create a passive revenue income stream is a mobile app. You can take some of these components and create your own app, and it's so easy to do these days. Well, when I say easy, I just mean accessible. It's not necessarily easy to implement, as I had a client that she created an app and it was quite a extravaganza, but possible and can be an added revenue stream for you. And then last but not least, I am not a financial advisor, so this is not my area of expertise, but I do definitely want to point this into at least highlight this for you. And I will link in the show notes an episode I did with Mel Abrahams, who is someone who is this is more of his zone of genius, but really make your money make money. And there are so many different ways that you could do that. And this is not my expertise, but once you do that, once you have your money make money, then you're going to be in a really good spot. So with that said, there are a whole slew of ideas that you can use to generate passive income and build an email list of customers, invite them to become premium clients. And if you need help on how to do this, then in the show notes, there is an option to schedule a free profit plan, and either me or someone from my team will show you how to implement this process specifically inside of your business. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you on the next episode.